Hello, folks. How's everybody doing today? This fine, wonderful morning. Hope you're enjoying your day or your morning, depending on your time zone. Okay. So, as has been customary each Saturday morning, we're going to start off with a video. And the name of this video is, do you really want skill-based matchmaking? So that is the question. Do you really want skill-based matchmaking? So let's go to the live screen and check this video out. Any questions, just throw in chat, please.
Hello, good people of YouTube, Mountbatten here, and today we're talking about matchmaking. In particular, a type of matchmaking
Okay,
called
so as I said,
skill-based
questions, throw in chat, please.
So, yesterday's video I highlighted the fun that can be had at Tier 6 due to the matchmaking changes of quite some time ago. Several months ago, the matchmaker was changed in such a way that Tier 7 went from being the tier that got double up tiered the least often to now Tier 6 has that generous title, meaning that Tier 6 ships will find themselves in Tier 6 and Tier 7 games more often than they find themselves in Tier 8 games. Do they still get up tiers double to Tier 8? Absolutely, but at much less a higher rate usually than Tier 7 ships. So, yesterday's video highlighted a Tier 6 match that was actually apparently mid-tier. I completely missed that when I was commenting the replay. It was a Tier 7 match, but it was still a fun match nonetheless. And, of course, a lot of the comments, not only on that video, but on videos I've done in the past talking about the state of higher tier matches, you'll find dozens, if not hundreds of comments, depending upon how many views the video has, of people saying this, we need skill-based matchmaking. This is an example of why we need skill-based matchmaking. And they claim that skill-based matchmaking will be the end-all, be-all to the problems with the matchmaker right now. And this is touted, again, as the solution to the problems with the matchmaker and with these blowout matches. And I'm one to disagree with that. Skill-based matchmaking is a very peculiar beast. So if you don't know what it is, it does what it sounds like it does. It bases your matches upon your skill. So if you are a lower skilled player, ideally you'd be matched with other lower skilled players that are on at the same time as you, and you wouldn't find yourself playing against someone with like 20,000 battles and like a 61% win rate, which there's some very peculiar cases of the matchmaker absolutely stacking one team against the other. You'll see one team that has just absolute god players on it if you have like matchmaking monitor on, and you'll see the other team has like an average win rate of like 36%, while the Unicum players probably have like a 60 or a 55% plus win rate. And it's like, God, how does this happen? And obviously thinking, well, if they were based upon their skill and the Super Unicums were evenly dispersed amongst the teams, surely you'd have better matches, and I'm sure you absolutely would. And yeah, if you could somehow guarantee that high-skilled players play with high-skilled players and low-skilled players play with low-skilled players, sure, you'd have a lot even matches just by the nature of putting two equally skilled competitors against each other. The problem is, how do you do that? It sounds very good. Again, equally skilled players playing against equally skilled players should be a nice close competition. How do you do that? Answer that for me. Go by their win rate. Oh, okay, sure. You can go by their win rate. Everyone has a win rate in this game. You win a certain percentage of battles. But what if I'm Johnny Unicum and I make a new account and grind up to a tier 10 in like 30 battles, because there's Unicum players that can do that, and I decide just to tank my stats down to like a 32% win rate to now where I'm absolutely able to just curb stomp all these low skill players. How do you stop that? And there are absolutely players that will do that. And not in just this game, but in other games as well. And that's the problem with skill-based matchmaking that a lot of games have. Call of Duty Modern Warfare uses skill-based matchmaking, and this is something that's constantly brought up about people smurfing. It's called smurfing. If you don't know what that is, you make a new account just so you can go and quash all the newer or less skilled players. How do you stop that? That's the issue. Now, again, in theory, it sounds great, right? But that's one issue of it too. The other issue too is if it's skill-based matchmaking in random battles, is that really random battles anymore? That sounds a lot like ranked. And random battles, from the way it sounds, it's supposed to be random, it's supposed to be casual, it's supposed to be just, go in there and derp around with my team for a little while. And yes, the current state of random battles is very, very, very unfortunate, especially at higher tier, with a lot of the things that happen with the meta and the way that some of the teams are thrown together. But at the end of the day, it is random battles. So there's certainly that argument, and many people have commented that argument when I talk about blowout matches and stuff. They say, well, it's random battles. It just happens sometimes. It's just a random online match. Sure. So skill-based matchmaking, is that the answer to this problem? Like I said, no, I don't think so. But I don't really think that is the problem with the matchmaker. I think the problem with the matchmaker is that it doesn't do what it's supposed to do a lot of the times. And plus, some of these new ship classes that we're... Well, not new classes, but some of these new ships that we're getting that kind of blur the lines between classes aren't really helping that much. And I talked about this in my hybrid video. So, the first thing, matchmaking not doing what it's supposed to do. When they changed the matchmaker in... God, I don't know what patch it was. Matchmaking is supposed to try its hardest to match identical ships. If there's 2 Yammies in queue, there should be a Yammy on the enemy team and a Yammy on the friendly team. If there's a Slava in queue, it's supposed to try and fit a Slava or some type of long-range battleship on the enemy team. That's why you'll see Slavas and Shikishimas often mirroring each other, because they're both long-range sniping battleships. If there's something like let's say an Alaska on the enemy team, it's supposed to find some type of super cruiser or ideally another Alaska to plop on the enemy team. You see what I'm saying? Radar ship on the enemy team, radar ship on the friendly team, Torp DD on the friendly team, Torp DD on the enemy team. That is what it is supposed to do. However, if you played this game for long enough, you're seeing that doesn't happen plenty of times. For example, this was a pretty... I don't think I caught it on stream or I was recording, but I remember I had a match where on the enemy team there was 2 Isseis. On the friendly team, there's 2 Hyugas. Both the same class, base class, of course. The Issei is a converted Hyuga, but definitely not the same ship. Definitely gave the team the huge advantage there with the 2 hybrid battleships. Why didn't it give one Hyuga to one team, a Hyuga to the other team, an Issei to the other team, and an Issei to the other team? That would have been a lot simpler. And remember too, when we had all those matches when Thunder was being removed, when one team would have 4 Thunderers, not in a division, on their side, and the other side wouldn't have any Thunderers. So I'm not sure if there's a glitch with it where in like some situations, maybe like this guy's been waiting in queue for like 3 minutes, this guy's been waiting in queue for 1 minute, so we're going to hurry up and throw these teams together so we, try to get a match out as fast as possible. And it makes these goofs from time to time, but it does seem to be making these goofs quite often. I mean, me for one, I'd be willing to sit in a queue. I mean, you barely sit in queue unless you're playing at like 2 o'clock in the morning on the North America server for more than like a minute. I'd be willing to sit there for 2 or 3 minutes to get a more evenly balanced match. And yes, sometimes it does throw the teams together correctly, and you still get those blowout matches. But again, it is an online match, so that's always a possibility of happening. But with the matchmaker failing to properly balance the teams just by ship types now, that's an issue. And like I said too, with these new ships that are kind of, is this really a cruiser or is this really a destroyer? Like the Elbing. That's a very valid point brought up about the Elbing. The Elbing is a DD in class and game, but it's really more of a light cruiser. And it doesn't really fulfill the role of a DD. It doesn't really spot. It can't really contest a cap because of its detection range and its slow DPM of its guns. It can't really fight, and contest a cap like something like a Smallland or a Daring could. It can't do that. It's just not in the ship's design. I mean, it can do it. It can't do it very well, I guess is the better way I should put it. But that is a DD. So you'll have an Elbing get matched up against, again, like a Daring. And that's not a fair matchup. Sure, one team has this nasty little light cruiser that can obliterate things with its AP guns, but they don't have the Daring there on their roster. They don't have something that fulfills that same role on their team. And you're supposed to. That's supposed to be what the matchmaker's supposed to do as of the changes and as of my understanding of it. And it's not doing that. And these new hybrid ships aren't really helping it out that much. And like I said in my hybrid video, this is a big problem because these hybrid ships, by themselves, they're actually pretty well balanced. The Issei by itself is a pretty well balanced ship. But when a team's got like 2 or 3 of them and they just do the slightest bit of communication, it's quite powerful. So when matchmaking throws 3 of them on one side and not a single one on the other side when they should at least have one, that's a big issue. And that's where my issues with the matchmaker are. And skill-based matchmaking, I really don't think it's the answer. Because again, it can be abused really easily. People can smurf, people can just throw. And then of course, when people throw to just lower their KD, lower their win rate, that of course hurts the team because the guy would just go zooming right in there into the cap and just get annihilated in his cruiser or destroyer or whatever. It sucks to be on the same team with that guy. Ironically, the same example they give for the detonation flag farming, but in truth, that is what some people would do. Is it a large number of people? I don't know, but I'm sure if someone's tired of going up against higher skilled players, they'll get to the point to where they'll be willing to do that, and there's an incentive to do it because you'll be matched against less skilled players. So I don't think skill-based matchmaking is the answer. And those of you that do say it's the answer, why do you say it's the answer? And how do you counter people that would be willingly throwing or willingly abusing the system? But anyway, guys, that's my thoughts on that topic. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. As always, have a wonderful day. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to drop a like and subscribe to the channel. When we hit 30,000 subs, we just passed 27,500 a few days ago, and I can't thank you guys enough for that. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Hope you can.
Okay, so what do you guys think of that? Is that a worthwhile video? So, do you think matchmaking should be skill-based or not? Well, it's funny. They listen to a small percentage of the players, and so they try all these different things based on data. But, why don't they just get... like they had before, community contributors, get their feedback and get a better understanding of it in actual application versus theory. Data provides a theorem, but yet at the same time, its application may not reflect the same that you derive from theorem. So, that is my point. We're going to do one more video. I'm not sure what we're going to look at here. Let's look at the Congress. Now, the Congress is a U.S. battleship. Yeah, what tier? I think it's tier 8. Let's check this out. Pretty sure it's tier 8. Okay, let's go to the live screen now. Let me know what you think in chat there, folks.
Hello, good people of YouTube.
Per
Now back
favore.
here. And today we have the brand spanking new Tier 8 Premium American Cruiser, the Congress import, to review for you guys today. As always, absolutely massive shout out to the Patreon supporters. With these guys' contributions, I was able to get this ship to review for you guys. Patreon is the best way to support the channel, besides, of course, just watching the videos. I'm not a CC. I don't get these ships to test early or anything like that. So any type of donations here definitely helps out the channel, as always. So, the Congress. She is essentially a down-tiered Alaska. So if you missed out on the Alaska the first time around, and then on the Alaska Black, this is pretty much the closest thing you can get in-game to the Alaska. Now I'm going to walk you through her armor layout, then we're going to look at her stats and go over her quirks and features, and give this thing a good old go around in battle and let you guys know what it is like. Alright, so no commander has been applied, nor captain skills equipped. I did play this on stream last night. If you were out and about, got a pretty good idea of what this thing played like last night. So I have played it already, but I'm recording this right after the stream. So still pretty good first impressions. Alright, so let's look at her armor. It's an Alaska. Like, it's an Alaska hull. All this is all Alaska, literally. 27mm bow, 27mm foredeck, 36mm mid deck, 26mm aft deck, 27mm stern, 28mm upper belt, 229mm main belt, 178mm lower belt, and 27mm torpedo protection. Citadel is under the water. Turrets are, again, it's in Alaska. So you got 325mm turret face, 152mm side, 133mm side, and 127mm roof. Alright. So yeah, no surprise there. It's literally an Alaska hull at Tier 8, which is a very, 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 very strong hull at Tier 8. It's a strong hull at Tier 9, so you can imagine what it's like a tier lower. Hit points, 51,150. She has 9,000 less hit points than the Alaska. The Alaska's got 60,100. Torpedo protection damage reduction is at 13%. Her guns. They're Alaska's guns. So they're set up a little weird, though. So they're in two twin turrets, one in the front, one in the back, and one triple turret in the front. They're Alaska's guns with 305mm American guns with a 22-second reload time instead of the Alaska's base reload time. So you do have a longer load time there. But other than that, again, they're identical. Maximum dispersion, 195 meters. HE shell has a maximum damage of 4,300 with a 27% chance of starting a fire. And they can pin 51mm of armor, so absolutely no need for IFHE. AP shells do a maximum of 8,900, and it is the American Super Heavy AP, so it's got those pin angles, and this stuff packs a punch, just like with the Alaska. AP shells have a velocity of 762 meters a second. HE shells have a velocity of 808 meters a second. And you do have secondaries. They are, of course, the American 5-inch guns. No surprise there. 6-second reload time. HE shells do a maximum damage of 1,800. 5% chance of starting a fire. 21mm of HE pin. Maximum range of 6.6 kilometers. They're pretty useless in a fight. I mean, you might get one that's a little lucky and starts a fire. But again, that mostly contributes to the AA. Which, speaking of the AA, it's got slightly less AA than the Alaska. You got 20 single mount Orlikins, 14 dual mount Bofors, and then of course the secondaries are also AA as well. A range is out to 5.8 kilometers, so same as the Alaska. Maneuverability, the ship has a maximum speed of 33 knots base, 815 meters turning circle radius, and a 13-second rudder shift time. Concealment, detectability by sea is 15 kilometers. But oh, also gun range. I was about to say, did I go over the gun range? I did not. Maximum gun range is 17.5 kilometers, so less than the Alaska. Alright, so that is her stats. Now, something to note is that this ship isn't in the proper actual Congress design layout. This triple turret should be back here, and these catapults should be back here as well. I'm not sure if Wargaming ever said this was like a variant of that design or what, but I'll tell you that this triple turret being in the front is a good thing for the ship in game, because most of your firepower is in the front, and the Alaska is a very bow-on cruiser. You don't do a whole lot of kiting with it. You're mostly bow-on. In most cases, of course, you do kite, and it would be okay if this turret is back here for kiting, but for most instances, it's better that it's in the front. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and module and kit her out, and I'll meet you guys right back here. We'll go over the build for her, and see you guys in a minute. Alright, I do have my build on her. I forgot to go over the consumables, so she gets 2 heals base. This is after the captain has been put on. She gets 2 heals base, not 3. So that hurts. She gets radar. It's the American radar, 10 kilometer range, 38.5 second runtime, and reloads in 114 seconds. You get 4 charges of those, 3 base. You can swap this out for a fighter or a spotter, but I mean, hey, it's radar. Radar's super useful. So I'd imagine you want to keep that equipped. You have a choice of DFAA or hydroacoustic search as well. And of course, damage con. So modules. With main armaments mod 1, we want to keep those sweet guns in the fight. I'm with the damage con modules because she does get the 60 second burn time and fire suck, and you only have 3 hills max with superintendent. With aiming systems mod 1 to pull in the dispersion a little bit, and damage con 2, fire suck, and then concealment. Now you could go with the radar module here, absolutely, if you want to, but I mean, fires suck. That's my logic behind it, but you could build into the radar, obviously. Be a pretty solid choice. Alright, so for the commander build, I went with grease the gears, consumable enhancements, adrenaline rush, then concealment, then gun feeder, because the HE on this thing is actually really solid too. So switching back and forth between them, having this boost is of course very nice. Priority target, superintendent, and then top grade gunner, and then last stand. And we do have flags equipped, so now we have, well, the main battery guns are dispersions 181 meters. And our concealment is now down to 12.2 kilometers, which is very, very, very nice. Alright. Oh, also the speed, 34.7 knots with the speed flag. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead, hop into battle. I'll meet you guys there with my voiceover review of the Congress. Alright guys, so the Congress. Well, take an Alaska, remove 2 guns, reduce the range, and increase the reload. That's a Congress. It feels just like Alaska. The guns are very, very, very sweet. The AP is very, very punchy. And yeah, that's the best way I can describe it. Now, this is at tier 8, which means that when you're top tier, the world's your oyster. I mean, the hull is incredibly tanky for tier 8. A lot of the lower tier battleships that you meet can't overmatch your bow. Now, if they have 16-inch guns, they can. There's a whole lot of tier, well, even tier 8, 7, 6 ships that have 15 or smaller caliber guns. So you've got plenty of ships that you can heavily bow tank with the Congress. Now, too, the gun setup, you know, thinking 2 less guns on an Alaska. That's gotta suck, right? Well, the guns are actually pretty darn accurate and pretty darn consistent, too, to the point to where you don't really miss them too much. I mean, it does come into play a little bit. By that, I mean the overpins. The AP on this ship is so darn good that when you're fighting tier 8 and tier 7 and tier 6 ships, you get a lot of overpins because they are that punchy. Even with the slow American velocity, you still have that super heavy AP. And you get a lot of overpins of this thing. But my god, when the AP connects, you're removing half of a ship's health sometimes on some cruisers. It is really, really, really nice. And that's what the Alaska does. But the Alaska is fighting mostly tier 9 and 10 ships because it is a tier 9 ship. And sure, it gets a tier 9 game every now and then where it can see some tier 7 ships. And any Alaska owner knows that when you see tier 7 ships, you absolutely bully the living crap out of them. And the Congress gets to see tier 6 ships with the Alaska's hull and the Alaska's guns and the Alaska's heavy AP, just with a slightly longer reload time and slightly less range. So it's quite the cruiser. So it's survivability. How is it survivability? When you're top tier, the one less heal and the 9,000 less health doesn't really matter too much, unless you're getting set on fire a lot, which is why I chose to build into the fire duration. I'm sorry, the fire modules to cut that fire duration, that fire chance down, because that is the main weakness of the ship. You got 10,000, almost 10,000 less HP than the Alaska. You still got that 60-second burn time, but you have one less heal to heal back that fire damage. So I would build into it. But other than that, it's incredibly tanky. I mean, it's the Alaska. If you played the Alaska or seen an Alaska or heard about the Alaska's survivability, same thing here, but one tier lower. It's great. It's really, really, really good for that. Now, of course, when you get double up tier to tier 10, it does suck. Because, you know, the Alaska's a pretty comfy cruiser at tier 10, but you've got 10,000 less health than the Alaska at tier 10. So, losing some points there, but overall, still really, really tanky cruiser. So the guns, like I said, they're accurate, they're punchy. Their 22-second load time, I didn't really mind it, because if you can aim really well, this ship rewards good aim, and I'm very happy with that. I'm very, very, very happy that we get another ship line that rewards good aim. They reward you with big, chunky AP shots, because when you hit the Citadel, the well-armored portion of your target, you wreck their health. It's very, very, very good for that. And the HE is good as well. It's got 27% chance of starting a fire. Now, there's only 5 guns in the front, but when you can manage to get your full broadside off and get all 7 guns on target, you'll be setting plenty of fires. And the Alaska was very good at that too. If it couldn't just Citadel something to death, it'll just burn it to death, no problem. Same thing here with the Congress. And the less range does hurt when you get up tiered. I mean, that's a huge, huge drawback when you get into tier 10 games. And I did have trouble with that on Steam, on stream, because it's a very fine line between getting in range in a tier 10 game and just getting the crap slapped out of you. So it does lose a decent bit of points there, but again, when you're in like a tier 9 or a tier 8 game, it really doesn't matter, you know. But when you're in a tier 10 game, struggles a little bit, but the guns more than make up for it, because once you get within range, you're perfectly capable of doing damage against whatever it is you're facing. AA, I mean, slightly less AA than Alaska, still has DFAA, so pretty decent there. Wasn't exactly, you know, swatting down planes left and right, but definitely had enough with DFAA to make the CV think twice about coming back. Maneuverability, pretty maneuverable super cruiser. Feels pretty similar to Alaska. It's maybe a tad bit more sluggish on the turns, but I'm pretty sure they have the same rudder shift time. Yeah, they both have, I just checked in port real quick. They both have 13-second rudder shift time, same speed, same turning circle radius. So it's the same as the Alaska, and the Alaska's a really maneuverable cruiser, so this one is too as well. Concealment, again, 12.2 is perfectly workable for a cruiser of this size, and you can just leave the fight if you don't want to be in it anymore. But again, your overall range is shorter, and the detection range isn't any less than the Alaska, so that is a bit of a hold up there. But again, overall, for what this ship is, it's a really solid ship in my mind. 2 less guns on an Alaska, slightly less range, and a slightly longer load time. That is the best TLDR description of the Congress. So should you get this ship? If you missed out on the Alaska, I'd say pick it up. If you've got the Alaska, you're good. No need to pick this thing up. Unless for whatever reason you want to go down and just seal club at tier 6 with an Alaska with 2 less guns. That's the only reason I say you may want to pick this up if you already have an Alaska. But if you have an Alaska, you've got the cream of the crop. There's no need to buy this thing. I'd play the Alaska every time over the Congress. Not saying that Congress is bad. It's certainly not. It's a really solid ship in my opinion, and a really darn good cruiser too. And if you missed the Alaska, I'd say pick this thing up. It's literally the Alaska with 2 less guns, slightly less range, and a slightly longer load time, but a really good ship and a really fun ship too. The Alaska's a fun ship to play, so is this ship. But yeah, it's a good one in my mind. Now, is it again drop what you're doing and buy it right now? No, it's not. But
oh my,
if you ever got a little extra cash to throw at the game, you're looking for a premium American cruiser, I'd say give this thing a look at, because it's a really solid ship in my mind. Really good, really tanky.
Interesting.
Really good guns, really consistent guns too, from my
interesting.
Experience. I'm sure you've seen that a bit. The footage playing in the background. I had some terrible teams in this thing. It was either we won just hands down in like 10 minutes, or we got absolutely creamed in like 5 minutes.
Yeah,
I had a really hard time getting any decentish footage, and I probably
state of affairs in the game.
2 or 3 games just playing in the background right now. It was a rough night, and you can go watch the stream.
You're either on the side steamrolling, or you're getting steamrolled.
I'd say it's
doesn't
worth
seem
the
to be
cash,
much in
but
between
again,
these
if you got
days.
the Alaska, zero need to pick this thing up. So guys, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below.
So that's a perfect example of how matchmaking really does not
let me know
work.
down below. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure to drop a like and subscribe to the channel. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Hope to catch you guys in the next one.
Okay, that's gone. So any comments, just throw in chat. Any questions? Throw in chat. So he made a very important statement there. How, one team, one game, you're finishing off the other team in no time, or you're on the receiving end and getting steamrolled. So if this matchmaking on a skill player level was working, that would not be the case. So, as I said before, you can have all the data in the world. That theory is theory. Now, if you take people that are actually community contributors that actually have experience playing in the game to get feedback of what the result is as far as the application of that theory is, then you can modify your theory. It's no different than changing perspective and perceptions by experience and revising on a continual basis. But they don't get it. And it's really more a matter of the ego on the part of Wargaming's part. And what I mean by that is they know best. Well, guess what, guys? Wargaming, you do not know what is best. Theorem is one thing, but actuality with application of that theory is another thing. And between the two, you can derive a better balance. And that means treating people as equals and being more respectful to their contributions instead of being offended. And that's my take. That's not everybody's take. You don't have to agree with it. It's up to you. It doesn't matter. Okay, so I'm loading up the game, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a smoke break before we go into battle. So I think we'll probably be going in the Napoli, but we will see. We will see. I gotta think about it. I'm gonna let that thought percolate, see what I'm gonna do. So we'll be back very shortly. Sit back, sit tight, relax and get comfortable. Enjoy the ride. Michael J, aka Swifty, glad you could join us. Sit back, sit tight, relax and get comfortable. Enjoy the ride. Michael J, aka Swifty, glad you could join us. Sit back, sit tight, relax and get comfortable. Enjoy the ride. Michael J, aka Swifty, glad you could join us. Sit back, sit tight, relax and get comfortable. Enjoy the ride. Michael J, aka Swifty, glad you could join us. Sit back, sit tight, relax and get comfortable. Enjoy the ride. Michael J, aka Swifty, glad you could join us. Sit back, sit tight, relax and get comfortable. Enjoy the ride. Michael J, aka Swifty, glad you could join us. Sit back, sit tight, relax, and get comfortable. Enjoy the ride. Michael J, aka Swifty, glad you could join us. Sit back, sit tight, relax, and get comfortable. Enjoy the ride. Michael J, aka Swifty, glad you could join us. Sit back, sit tight, relax, and get comfortable. Enjoy the ride. Michael J, aka Swifty, glad you could join us. Sit back, sit tight. We're at the live screen right now. Let's see what we've got here. A few flags. I'm gonna check naval battles, but I think we're gonna go on the Napoli. It's the Italian Tier 10 cruiser. Whoa, we're behind against the CIS. They're beating the crap out of us. Oh noes. Oh yes. Okie dokie. Well, what are we going to do? Let's scroll through our port here. Lepanto, Marco Polo, Venezia, Napoli. Okay, let's see what flags we can add to her. Or him. There's an economy flag, we'll add that. Let's see, what's this here? Amount of HP? Sure, why not? Secondaries? Sure, why not? Okie dokie. You know what we could do? Let's add this too. This ship could use it. Okay, random battle. Going into the battle queue now. Let's put our camera on. The camera, there we go. Oh my, what do we got in our face? Our other microphone. Let's move this out of the way. You don't want to watch that. Good golly, it's like a telephone pole. Okay, going into the queue now. Questions? Of course, put questions in chat. Just remember, Bob's your uncle. Bob's not your uncle. Maybe he changed his name. Maybe shit happened in Mom's life. That happens to all of us. So do not judge. We are not qualified to judge. Try to be understanding. and ask questions, but be open to the response. Don't get emotionally attached to it. Life's too short. Okay, let's look at the map. There's a Midway in the other team. We've got a Roosevelt. This could be a big problem depending on the skill of the players.
Battle starts.
So we're going to go A for Captain Isle here. Hopefully the Summers will come with us.
Let's give them a hard time. Many thanks.
So my Kronstadt at tier 9 has got like 12,000 more HP than this ship. But I've got to reassess this ship. It takes a minimum 10 games to get a handle on it. I said at the beginning it was crap. But then after about the 7th game or so, I actually had some pretty decent games. And the first bunch might have been a result of RNG. What do we have here? Z fighter? Get our fighter up.
Fighter airborne.
Can't do anything there with the Masa. Hopefully he doesn't see me. No, no shots off. Okay, so let's see if we can get a shot on this Yoshino. Now he's disappeared.
Position of a strategic target.
He has disappeared on us. Where did he go? Come on, baby. Light him ups. Light him ups. There we go. Ah, wrong friggin' shells. That's not the what I wanted.
Fighter returning to ship.
Those are not the
Smoke
shells I
generator
wanted.
started. The ship is on fire. Torpedoes astern. Problem solved, sir.
Come on.
Smoke screen set.
What's that? The bank.
Yamato's at the edge of the map.
Enemy destroyer sighted.
Ah, crap.
Concentrate fire on the target. Enemy battleship detected.
Come on. That's bullshit.
Enemy destroyer detected.
Come on. That's friggin' crap. That's a little bit better.
Affirmative. Much obliged. Smoke generator started. Enemy battleship sighted. Enemy cruiser sighted. Attention. Reporting the target position. Smoke screen set. That was a great battle.
Okay, we got 2 out of 3 caps. Don't have a ton of damage, but that's okay. Putting Chad heading to B.
Concentrate fire on the target. Good game, everyone.
Good job, Petro. Way to go, Petro. So each side's down 3 ships, but we've got 2 out of 3 caps. Looks like we're getting the 3rd cap now.
Repel air attack.
Yeah, we're down 4, they're down 3. We're losing the C cap too. If we can get this B cap.
Requesting assistance.
Okay, so we're still heading to B. It just takes time. Not much you can do. Only go so fast. Okay. We're down 5, they're down 4. Still got over 9.5 minutes left, though. Any questions? Throw in chat, folks. Oh no, we lost our Summers. Uh-oh.
All stations, concentrate fire on the target. Enemy battleship detected. Enemy destroyer detected. Fighter destroyed. Smoke generator started. The ship is on fire. Enemy battleship sighted. Problem solved, sir. All stations, concentrate fire on the target.
One shot.
Smoke screen set. Fighter airborne. Concentrate fire on the designated target.
Battle ends in 5 minutes.
That was a good game. I don't know if I'll get enough for the star I need for naval battles, because we're not going to win this match. Even though we got the 2 caps, 2 out of 3 caps. We only got our CV left, and they've got 2, 4, 6 ships left, so we're in rough shape. How much you got? Took it down 29 planes. That's not too bad. We just lost too many guys to be able to hold and take the win. Guys get frustrated, show their emotions in chat. Just got to take it with a grain of salt. Is what it is. It was a respectable game. It was a good game. That's all that matters. Win or lose, good sportsmanship. Go out with dignity. Go out with your head held high. And just try and do better next game. Simple. Nothing's perfect. Okay, we got the loss. I wonder if I've got enough for the naval battle. Let me check. Let me check. We came in number 2 overall. Actually, I think I got it. Holy moly. Doesn't happen often when you're on the losing side, but I think I pulled it off. Check naval battles here. I think I got it. Yes, no? Yeah, for sure. I mean, 6 out of 7. What happened? It might have been 1 yesterday. That's what happened. I was in a division with Tom. Okie dokie. Okay. Let's see what we got in this container. I always take resources. I'm pretty consistent that way. I just feel that's the best value out of the daily containers, resources. Can always use that for gameplay, and that's why I take it. You can gamble and try the other options, but I just find going for resources your best option. Provides what you need that you use consistently each and every game, each and every time you play. So, simple as that. Okay, folks, we're going to take a smoke break again, and then we're coming back. Any questions, just throw in chat. Don't forget, Bob may or may not be your uncle now. Sit back, sit tight, relax and get comfortable. Enjoy the ride. Michael J, a.k.a. Swifty, glad you could join us. Sit back, sit tight, relax and get comfortable. Enjoy the ride. Michael J, aka Swifty, glad you could join us. Sit back, sit tight, relax and get comfortable. Enjoy the ride. Michael J, aka Swifty, glad you could join us. Sit back, sit tight, relax and get comfortable. Enjoy the ride. Michael J, aka Swifty, glad you could join us. Sit back, sit tight, relax and get comfortable. Enjoy the ride. Michael J, aka Swifty, glad you could join us. Sit back, sit tight, relax and get comfortable. Enjoy the ride. Michael J, aka Swifty, glad you could join us. Sit back, sit tight, relax and get comfortable. Enjoy the ride. Michael J, aka Swifty, glad you could join us. Sit back, sit tight, relax and get comfortable. Enjoy the ride. Michael J, aka Swifty, glad you could join us. Sit back, sit tight, relax and get comfortable. Enjoy the ride. Michael J, aka Swifty, glad you could join us. Sit back, sit tight, relax and get comfortable. Enjoy the ride. Michael J, aka Swifty, glad you could join us. Sit back, sit tight, relax and get comfortable. Enjoy the ride. Michael J, aka Swifty, glad you could join us. Sit back, sit tight, relax and get comfortable. Enjoy the ride. Michael J, aka Swifty, glad you could join us. Sit back, sit tight, relax and get comfortable. Enjoy the ride. Michael J, aka Swifty, glad you could join us. Sit back, sit tight, relax and get comfortable. Enjoy the ride. Michael J, aka Swifty, glad you could join us. Sit back, sit tight, relax and get comfortable. Enjoy the ride. Michael J, aka Swifty, glad you could join us. Sit back, sit tight, relax and get comfortable. Enjoy the ride. Michael J, aka Swifty, glad you could join us. Sit back, sit tight, relax and get comfortable. Enjoy the ride. Michael J, aka Swifty, glad you could join us. Sit back, sit tight, relax and get comfortable. Enjoy the ride. Michael J, aka Swifty, glad you could join us. Sit back, sit tight, relax and get comfortable. Enjoy the ride. Michael J, aka Swifty, glad you could join us. Sit back, sit tight, relax and get comfortable. Enjoy the ride. Michael J, aka Swifty, glad you could join us. Sit back, sit tight, relax and get comfortable. Enjoy the ride. Michael J, aka Swifty, glad you could join us. Sit back, sit tight, relax and get comfortable. Enjoy the ride. Michael J, aka Swifty, glad you could join us. Sit back, sit tight, relax, and get comfortable. Enjoy the ride. Michael J, aka Swifty, glad you could join us. Sit back. Okay, we're going back into battle in the Tier 10 Napoli. Any questions, throw in chat, of course. Standard procedures here. This is a ship in port. Nice looking ship. Let's hit the battle button. Go in. Looks like we're going to get aircraft carriers again. Who knows? That Midway last game was all over me. Like a fly on friggin' rice in a field. So, what are you going to do? Not much. We're going into the battle queue right now. Cyclone M. Let's see what we've got. Friggin' Midway again on the other team. I hope it's not the same guy. I didn't even notice who it was. Okay, 3 destroyers on each side. Let's look at the map. Oh, this map. Okay.
Battle starts.
We're gonna swing wide up here. Got an Elbing right here beside us. Kind of like a little cruiser, actually. German destroyer. Is it German or Dutch? Good question. Dry throat. Had to mute the mic, cut it in time. Got some water. No, it's not Starbucks water. Starbucks cup with homemade water. Can you imagine that? Doesn't get much more efficient than that. Cuts down on the dishes too. I'm really not into woman's work. Can't do anything against this curve first. Too far out of my range. Not much I can do. Come on, baby. Let's get a little bit closer.
Concentrate fire on the target.
Nice. Get another hit on him. That's it. Friggin' non-pens and ricochets. Give me a friggin' break. Oh, Yamato. The Yamato.
All stations, concentrate fire on the target.
Doesn't seem to be too much on this flank, which is pretty decent. I got a Conqueror up here.
Concentrate fire. Enemy cruiser detected. Smoke generator started.
Oh, nice. Got a good hit on him.
Enemy destroyer detected.
Nice. Torps on this guy. Cool. Oh, he's toast. He's toast.
Smoke screen set.
Lovely English room.
The enemy is about to win.
No Arias.
Concentrate fire on the target.
It's Sunday.
Fighter
Oh, somebody's shooting at us. Can you imagine that?
Music.
Who would do that?
Enemy battleship detected.
To honor that shit. Love
All stations, protect that target. Attention, reporting the
it.
target
Around your
position.
finger. That's what it smoke.
Enemy cruiser sighted. All stations, concentrate fire on the target.
Listen to me about it.
Affirmative. Concentrate fire on the designated target. The ship is on fire. Problem solved, sir. Concentrate fire. Fighter returning to ship.
Now.
Enemy battleship detected. Enemy destroyer detected.
Come on. That's bull crap.
All stations, concentrate fire on the target.
And delivered.
Enemy battleship sighted. Concentrate fire on the enemy warship.
Conditions of the podcast. So, visit OntarioRacing.com.
Attention, reporting the target position.
Maybe you're in search of a weapon. Maybe play.
All stations, reporting the position of a strategic target.
Go on your adventure. Sure. AA member.
Enemy cruiser detected. Enemy battleship detected.
Entering 10 never heard before. Personal health, integrity, and forgiveness.
The enemy is about to win.
Overstressing. Releasement. Now enjoy the benefits. Dance.
Okay, we're down 1, they're down 5.
Stations. Reporting the position
It's
of a
pretty
strategic
decent.
target.
Day.
All stations. Reporting the position of a strategic target.
Unavoidable. On an all-nighter for full. You're here to have. New classical.
Come on.
Enemy cruiser detected. Attack enemy aircraft. Concentrate fire on the designated target. The enemy is about to win. Torpedoes, direct front. Smoke generator started. Torpedoes to starboard.
Ah, shit.
Torpedoes to starboard. Torpedoes to starboard. Our victory is in sight. Smoke screen set.
What's that 615 crap? Give me a friggin' break.
Enemy cruiser detected.
That's a little better. Enemy battleship detected. Nice.
Our team has taken the lead.
Okay, we got the win. Hopefully I got the points I needed for the naval battles. Let's check it out. Yeah, I did. Cool. We got that. Double check to make sure, but I'm sure we got it. Or doodle. Need a 975. We got it. Nice. Sweet. Okay, folks, we're going to call it a day for today. We'll be back live tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. New York time. So that's back live, 10 a.m. New York time. So, listen, COVID-19, it's real. It's not a friggin' hoax. The vaccine works. I've had AstraZeneca. I've had Pfizer. They work. If you're not sure, talk to a doctor. Politicians know crap about it. Talk to your doctor. Get a second opinion. And make sure you take care of your health. So, thanks for watching, guys. And, oh, thank you very much. God bless you. Okay, we're just signing off for the day. We'll be back live tomorrow, 10 a.m. New York time. Any questions? Throw in chat. Any questions? Come back tomorrow and ask them. We'll talk to you soon. Take care. Understand you're magnificent. Your health is priceless. Take care of it. Talk to you all soon. Thanks for watching.